Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try making something quite interesting. A TV signal antenna made from nothing more than a metal skimmer. At first glance it looks like a very ordinary kitchen tool, but the metal mesh on it can actually become a fairly effective signal receiver. To start, I use a marker to mark a point right in the center of the mesh. This will be the central point of the antenna. Next, we will create a standing frame for the skimmer. I place the handle of the skimmer in a vise to hold it firmly. Then, I prepare a small gas torch. I turn it on and begin heating the metal handle of the skimmer. The metal gradually heats up and begins to glow red. Once it's hot enough, I use pliers to bend the handle. Slowly bend it until it forms a U shape. This shape allows the skimmer to stand upright like a support stand. Now I use a drill to make a small hole exactly at the marked point in the center of the mesh. The skimmer now has a mounting point for the signal receiver. I place the skimmer on the table to check the balance. The frame stands quite steadily. Next, I prepare a tire valve from a bicycle or car inner tube. I remove the valve piece and insert the valve stem through the hole that was just drilled in the skimmer. The valve head sits on the inside of the mesh. I tighten a nut to secure the valve firmly to the skimmer. Then add another nut on the outside to lock everything in place. Now we will make a small signal reflector. I take an aluminum soda can and cut off the bottom part of the can with a knife. Then I use scissors to trim that bottom piece into a small, flat, circular disc. In the center of the aluminum disc, I mark a point and drill a small hole. This aluminum disc is then mounted onto the tip of the valve. And I use a screw to secure it tightly. Now the antenna's signal receiving element has taken shape. Next is the cable connection. I take a piece of coaxial cable, the type commonly used for televisions. Using a utility knife, I carefully cut the outer plastic jacket. Inside is a braided metal shielding layer, which I remove. Then I strip the inner insulation to expose the solid copper core in the center. This copper core will carry the main signal. I feed the copper core of the cable through the screw hole at the center of the skimmer. After that, I prepare a short piece of an old telescopic antenna, the kind commonly seen on radios. I place this antenna piece at the center position. The remaining copper core of the coax cable is wrapped around the antenna to create a firm connection. To keep the joints from becoming loose, I use a hot glue gun. The hot glue is applied over the connections, helping secure the wires and prevent movement during use. Next, I mount the entire skimmer frame onto a flat base. Using a metal clamp and screws, I secure the skimmer onto this base. Now the antenna has a very stable stand. On the other end of the cable, I install a standard antenna connector so it can be plugged directly into a TV. Just like that, our homemade antenna is complete. Now comes the most interesting part. I turn on the TV, and the familiar message appears on the screen: no signal. I bring this antenna closer to the TV and plug the jack into the antenna port on the back of the television. Then I start scanning for channels. After just a few seconds, the television channels begin to appear. The image shows up very clearly, from news channels to movie channels. Even the cartoon channels display steadily. I try switching through several different channels and they all work quite well.
Là lời khẳng định với toàn cầu, trung tâm của hòa bình, hữu nghị và hợp tác quốc tế.
Giờ là một thần thoại của người dân địa phương. Những nghệ thuật trân trọng và bảo tồn những bộ thi lâu năm được xem như thần thoại.
It's quite a surprising result, using only an old metal skimmer and a few simple components. If you found this experiment interesting, please leave a like on the video. And don't forget to follow the channel to see what everyday object we will turn into a useful device next time.